I think that most of that needs to be refrigerated. David, you want to see something?
And there's Coot.
To your health, happiness, and health.
Here, here.
And you didn't have anything. Well, I think there'll be something to eat when we get there.
I don't think so.
No?
Well, why don't you grab some sandwiches and bring them for the ride? No?
Okay.
I think this is just going to be in the auditorium we're going to be having. Yeah, sorry for interrupting. I don't think it's going to be a reception.
Right.
Here we are at UCLA for Dr. Moore's Eulogy. That's Terry in front. Kids. And coming right behind us right there. Yes, Barbara.
Can I get you too, sir?
Huh?
I'd like to get a picture of you too. So drop the camera and hand it to me.
Okay.
Where do I press?
It's on.
Okay, go for it. He'll get there.
Okay.
The gang.
And here comes I got in there. You know, here we are at UCLA. Shout out for Dr. Moore. Okay.
Who's Sheshy?
Try to enjoy themselves.
This is where we're going for. Patriarch of the Moore family. Terry. His daughter.
We'll talk about this.
Today so that she will have this for her memory chest. A number of you have indicated that you would like to make comments, but did not have time to request it in time to be listed in the program. So anyone who wishes to make any comments after the listed speakers, say please come down into this corner. We'll be delighted to hear from you.
And my family's now our history. And how he seems to fit into it. And how I hope the rest of us will too. I knew nothing about the Moore family history for years. I must have been about 40 years old when his Aunt Biddy, not Aunt Goody, he had an Aunt Goody, but he also had an Aunt Biddy. And Aunt Biddy called me to come into Berkeley. I had my child and I'd named him, and she thought it was time I knew a little bit about the Moore family history. So at 40, she clued me in. And I thought it would be appropriate today to tell you a little bit about the Moores.
He was a provider and a teacher. He was a gardener. He was a hiker. He was a fighter for freedom. He was a battler of the cold waters of the Pacific. He was a dog lover. He was proud. He had an incredible mind. He was brave. He was strong. He was stubborn. He had a very weird sense of humor. He had an extremely firm handshake. He led by example. He was my friend. I loved my grandfather, and I will miss him dearly. However, I'm so happy for the time that I was able to spend with my grandpa. I believe that we are all very lucky to have known such a remarkable man. Speaking with J.G. Moore was a privilege that I never once took for granted.
I would like to tell a little story which begins with the fact that is partially due to Jerry Moore, that I didn't forget June's and my 59th wedding anniversary last Tuesday. And let me tell you how that happened. 43 years ago, June was quite pregnant, and according to the calculations was due in about 10 days. In the early morning, when we were both up as usual,
fellow. And I said, what do you mean? I've flown all this away. He says, well, your only hope is to get a faculty job, and if you get the faculty job, we can arrange for a fellowship. So I didn't understand it. So I thought it was a bit confusing. Then I said, but can I do it at the same time? He said, yes, you'll be paid 3 times as much, but it has to be checked with Dr. Moore. I said, where is Dr. Moore? He says, he's on sabbatical. So I was a bit confused, and then Dr. Judd said, well, Dr. Moore is going to come back and visit, although he's on sabbatical, and we have shortlisted a few people. You'll probably be one of them, and you'll hear. So I'd never met Dr. Moore before that I'd heard. And Dr. Moore meets me in the room and says, hi, Adam, how are you doing? With the firm shake hand, and says, I know all about you, what I need to know, probably more than you know, so please ask about us. So we did, with his firm handshake. He said, I'll let you know. Then he calls me in a few days, and the job is yours. And he had a very nice, polite way of making things very disciplinary in the department. We used to have a clockwork round at 5 o'clock in the evening, gynecology rounds where everyone would meet. One day I was new. I thought, well, it could be 5:30. I didn't know it was so particular, so I was around somewhere. And Dr. Moore checked, because he thought he was a new faculty, junior faculty, maybe he forgot. And he took the rounds. The next morning he says, hi, Adam, the residents missed your teaching yesterday at 5, so I did take it. And that was a nice message to say, you know, we like to do things in time.